What does it mean to be rich? NerdWallet https website.com turns the way from the previous messaging. Since six figures was the benchmark of wealth and success, but now it's not uncommon for high earners to feel financially stretched. Where does it actually take to be rich? That raises the question, what does it actually take to be rich? We ask a few six-figure earners to share their thoughts. Rich is subjective. For many high earners, https://www.nerdwallet.com, being rich isn't about hitting a magic number, driving a flashy car, or buying a mansion. It's about living the lifestyle you want without worrying about money. Rob Bacharach, a certified financial planner near Charlotte, North Carolina, says being rich means having the freedom to spend without incurring debt. Wealth traditionally comes from building assets, he says, but having the time to do as you please, while still covering your bills, can make you rich too. A high income doesn't always guarantee those circumstances. I work with a few young surgeons. They are mid-30s. They make over $1 million per year. They live in large houses, but their net worth is negative $1 million between mortgages and student loans. Bacharach says, these individuals are not rich. If they are good savers, they may be rich in the future. But for right now, they work a lot, they spend a lot. Kim Rippey, a licensed professional counselor in Burke, Virginia, considers rich a state of being rather than a dollar amount earned. In Rippey's view, being rich is having the ability to stop working without changing your lifestyle. It's the mentality that you don't have to worry about money or make adjustments due to lack of it. Patrice Williams-Lindo, a business consultant and CEO of Career Nomad, a career coaching company near Atlanta, says it takes about $20,000 a month to support her version of a rich lifestyle. That's enough to comfortably cover household expenses, help her 3 kids through college, and stay on top of debt payments. But it's not just income that makes you rich, she says. It's having a sense of peace, having a sense of accomplishment. For Williams-Lindo, being rich is also about building generational wealth. She and her husband want their daughters to have the freedom to make decisions that aren't money-driven. If they wanted to take a gap year, what does that look like? If they got laid off from their jobs as they started working, did they have to find a job in the next month? Or will they have a 3-month or 6-month emergency fund? Williams-Lindo says, that's what we're setting them up for. Not all high earners feel rich. Rippey doesn't consider herself rich despite earning 6 figures and owning her own therapy practice. Living in the high-cost Washington, D.C. area, much of her income is tied up in housing, student loans, and childcare costs for her 2 children. She and her husband call themselves daycare broke. I think if the debt wasn't there, then that actual joy and feeling of being rich would probably be more prevalent, Rippey says. Bacharach doesn't feel rich at this point in his life either. I have a good income that allows me to live very comfortably, but I'm in my mid-30s. I've only been making that income for so long, and so I have not had the accumulation of assets outside of my business, he says. Bacharach wants to build a pool at his home, but would need to take on debt to make it happen. I could put a little cash down. I could borrow from my HELOC to do the rest if I want, he says. But I think that feeling of wealth or richness really comes from the ability just to write the check and do whatever it is that you want to do. Williams-Lindo, on the other hand, does feel rich. Not only because she's setting her family up for success, but because she finds purpose in building a legacy through her work. I am helping people that have either been laid off or that work in toxic workplaces. Specifically, Black women like myself find their next season. She says, I consider myself wealthy because I have the capacity to dream, Williams-Lindo adds. For many, net worth is key. We sifted through Reddit forums to get a pulse check on how users define rich. We used an AI tool to help analyze the feedback. People post anonymously, so we cannot confirm their individual experiences or circumstances. There isn't a clear consensus in the comments on exactly how much money makes a person rich. But it's obvious that income is just one part of the equation. Redditors say there are other factors to consider, such as a person's location, debt load, https://nerdwallet.com/article finance how much debt is too much, lifestyle costs, family situation, age and career stage. Users generally agree that being rich requires having a high net worth. https://nerdwallet.com/article finance high net worth that includes significant assets beyond a primary residence. The ability to maintain a high standard of living without working, having no major debt obligations. Many users say they won't consider themselves rich until they have at least a few $1,000,000 in net worth and are financially independent. Everyone has their own definition of rich. If you're striving for wealth, it's worth taking a moment to ask yourself, what does being rich mean to you?